Hi, it's Raymond Aaron and
Jack Canfield.
And here we are in Mexico. In Mexico, we're on vacation. I love Jack. We're like brothers, and we go on vacation twice a year to exotic places around the world. But we're taking a break from our vacation to tell you about the power of wow. And Jack is going to be Jack and I are co-authoring a book called The Power of Wow. And it's going to have stories of some of the most well-known companies in the world and how they create wow experiences, but it's also going to have stories of how ordinary solo entrepreneurs create amazing wow experiences, and we're going to be talking about that at the two Power of Wow conferences, one in Los Angeles and one in Toronto. Very, very exciting, and I'm happy to be doing it, and I'm happy to be co-authoring a book with Jack. This is the third book that we're co-authoring together.
Yes.
That's not a record, but...
Well, for us, it's a record.
For us, it's a record, right? So we did this fascinating thing of interviewing amazing organizations. And why don't we start? Who's the favorite one?
For me?
Yeah.
It's the Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah. So Ritz-Carlton, of course, is a worldwide chain, but you might say, it's a bed, what the heck, and a washroom. How could it be any different? Maybe the food's better, but what the heck? What is so great about the Ritz? Why are they so famous?
Well, the Ritz does everything it can to make your experience amazing and wants you to talk about it and come back. When I was on the road promoting Chicken Soup for the Soul, I came into the Ritz-Carlton in Chicago, and as I walked into my room, it was about 10 o'clock at night, and there was a chair with a thermos bottle on it, and a little sign that says, "Welcome, we love your books. Your books have been chicken soup for our souls. We hope this is chicken soup for your body." And there was a thermos of chicken soup.
That's sweet. That's sweet.
And then my other favorite story was about this family that was vacationing, I think in like Grand Cayman or someplace like that. And they got to the airport and realized their little son, who was probably 4, 5, 6, something like that, had left his stuffed giraffe. We'll call him Freddie because I don't remember his name right now. And the boy was distraught, and they called the hotel. They said, "Don't worry, we'll go find him." And they called back immediately and said, "We found him," and we talked to him, and he just said he wanted to stay a few more days and have a little longer vacation than you guys leaving. And so we'll set, he said he'll be home in a few days, and we'll send him back to you, make sure he gets there. And so for the next 2 days, they took pictures of this giraffe all over the property, sitting on a golf course, holding a putter at the tee.
Glasses on,
sunglasses on, sitting at the beach, on a chaise lounge, etc., in the bar, in the restaurant, hanging out with people, etc. And they made a photo album, it was leather-bound photo album, put all those photos in and sent that back with the giraffe. And the family has gone there, I think, like 3 or 4 more times as a result of that. And they'll never go anywhere else. It's the best service. And there are more stories from that. I won't go into all of them.
I'm going to tell you one.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so I like that one. And it explained why they didn't actually forget their pet giraffe,
right,
that he decided to stay. So
right,
nobody was wrong. It was brilliant. But the one that is just so powerful to me is a couple checks in and the son is crying and crying. So one of the staff members comes over. Did we do something wrong? No, his goldfish had just died before the trip. And the staff member on their own, they have an amazing budget of $2,000 per staff member per guest
that they can spend at their own
discretion.
Yeah.
And usually they spend nowhere near it, but they can. And what they did is they went out and bought a goldfish, and they put a note that the goldfish that died was called Ralph. And so there was a note saying, "Hi, I'm not Ralph. I'm some other name starting with R, Ricardo, let's say. I'm Ricardo, I'm Ralph's cousin. And I'm staying at this hotel, and in fact, there's a cousin of Ralph's at every Ritz hotel, and wherever they go in the world, it's
in their computer system to have that goldfish there.
That's right, they have a goldfish with a male name starting with R, and it's a cousin of Ralph, and so that's the only place that family can go. Yeah. Plus $1 million worth of free publicity.
Exactly. And we're here telling you about it, and the book's going to tell millions of other people about it. So great idea. To tell one more, just talk about the Savannah Bananas for 1 minute.
Oh, man. This, it's not like Major League.
Minor League Baseball team.
Minor League Baseball in Savannah.
Georgia.
In Savannah, Georgia. They had a contest to see what the name should be. And the problem was that the company, the people who bought the baseball team, it was a losing baseball team. They were losing money. They were losing games, but they were also losing money.
Yeah,
Nobody's coming because there was no luster. There was no excitement. I mean, if you're not winning or you're not making exciting games, why bother coming? Well, they chose the name Savannah Banana just because it rhymed and it was goofy. And then their theme color was yellow, and they did the most outrageous things. In one, you can't see it, but if you want to participate, you wear big baggy pants and you hold your pants up so there's like a big opening, and someone stands I don't know how many feet away and tries to throw bananas into your pants, which
is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but if it lands, it probably hurts the guys, and everyone's crying and laughter, and they give away banana hats, and all of a sudden they're making a fortune, and the team is starting to win because they're feeling so enjoying the crowds that are coming.
Oh, my favorite part of that the team is that they taught the whole team to do the dance from the song Thriller, which is the Michael Jackson thing, and all these people come out as like, and so games start with the first base. Everyone's on the first baseline, and they just keep coming up with new stuff. And the whole concept of this book is when you do wow experiences for your clients, your customers, they talk about it. And so we want to share with entrepreneurs and business people, etc., how you can create wow experiences for your customers. So in fact, they talk about you. And when we talk about these stories, every time I tell people one of them, they go, wow, exactly. And so when you create wow experiences, you get free word of mouth, and everyone talks about it, and you get more business. So that's basically the idea of the book.
And what I've noticed, there was one hotel I went to. It was an event where there was about 6 or 7 speakers who were offering their products. And I know all the top sales speakers in the world. So when I showed up on Friday night, I say, what's the roster? And I said, oh yeah, I know all these people, so I'll get together for dinner. I get together for dinner on Friday night in different cities in the world with the same people. It's very strange. And what did we talk about at dinner that night? We talked about when we checked in, the gal behind the counter came to our side of the counter and instead of giving us the key, she picked up our luggage. She accompanied us in the elevator, opened our room for us, made sure we understood everything and got all our questions answered. We all talked about that woman who did it. Of course, it was the policy of the hotel. Now, the hotel must have cost $500 million to build. But nobody says, oh my gosh, there were elevators. They paid $20 million for the elevators. Nobody talks about it. They paid $2,000 for each bed, and there was 1,000 beds. Nobody talks about it. What did they talk about? They talk about the girl who came around the counter, helped them to their room. So no matter how much you pay for the cost of a hotel, nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about escalators or elevators. They talk about the wow, and the wows don't have to cost anything.
We also talk in the book about unwows. And you have and the idea is you have to remove the unwows. I don't want to go deeply into High Point. We can save that for later. But basically, at High Point University, they have a director of wow. And part of his job is not just to create wow experiences, but to also remove the unwows. And you tell a story about going on vacation and wanting to buy a table. And the guy would tell that story. This is an amazing story.
My wife and I were in this small town. We were just driving around small towns in the province of Ontario where I live. And we're walking down a street. It was summer and we were happy. And we were like, we'd stop and we'd buy an ice cream or something. And we suddenly, our face just dropped because about 2 blocks ahead, we saw the exact oak table that we've been desperate to buy. We were looking for it for a long time. We just couldn't find the right one. And there it was. It was beautiful. So we ran up to it. It's exactly what we wanted. We run into the store and we said, how much for the table? And the guy yelled at us. Our budget for the table was $10,000. We would have paid anything. He said, don't you read the sign? This is a knick-knack store. The title of the store, the big sign is knick-knacks. We don't sell tables, we sell knick-knacks. Now the knick-knacks were $1. The table was $10,000 and he was yelling at us. And then the punchline, he says, as he's issuing us out of the store, people come in here all day long wanting to buy tables. $10,000 a table and he's kicking them out. That's an unwow.
Exactly. This guy could have totally made more money if
Oh,
he's
yeah.
figured out how to source tables. He
His
didn't do that.
knickknack should have been the lost leader to sell
I
tables.
know. Well, it would have been a good idea. A good idea. So anyway, that's the idea of wow and unwows. And so we're going to be sharing what are the aspects of what a wow is. Like you have the acronym, was it?
Bumper.
Bumper. And we'll share with you what that's all about. Each of those things talk about one of the characteristics of what makes a wow experience. So we'll leave that secret, so you'll want to come and find out what it is.
Yes, so we're having a pre-launch early in 2019. And it's going to be in Los Angeles, and it's going to be in Toronto. And above you can see the actual link you can click. But in the meantime, just in this video, I'll tell you, just go to Aaron, AARON.com/events. Aaron, AARON.com/events. And you can see the Power of Wow Conference in Orange County and the Power of Wow Conference in Toronto, Canada. And just click on it and go, because we're co-authoring a book, and it's a book to really, really help entrepreneurs, even professionals. Like, just because you think you're above selling, because you're a doctor or a lawyer or a dentist, doesn't mean you can't wow your clients. And there's ways to do it that don't cost anything.
You know, our friend Mark Hansen, who is the Chicken Soup co-author with you and me, he talked about a doctor in Australia that he met. And actually, he was a dentist. And so instead of selling you dental procedure by dental procedure, getting your teeth clean, getting this done, getting that, you became a member of his dental club. And when you came in, there was a tea and all kinds of things you wouldn't expect in his office.
Right.
But it was like a living room. And people were hanging out together and coming, and they didn't want to leave because they were having so much fun. The staff was great. And when you would join, he would find out what your favorite bottle of liquor was, and if you drank, and he would send it to your home. Thank you for joining.
Wow.
See, what did you just say? That's the spontaneous reaction people have when you go beyond their expectations. And so we're going to be teaching you about that, but I'm going to also be sharing with you a system of success that applies to any industry, any personal hobby. Like, you want to be a better golfer, you want to lose weight, you want to have a better marriage, you want to overcome depression, whatever it is, that it's like a system that always works. I used to work for a guy, I got into this work when I was in my 20s, for a guy who was named W. Clement Stone, who was a co-authored a book with Napoleon Hill, wrote Think and Grow Rich. And he had written a book called The Success System That Never Fails. And he talked about a system that always produces the same result if you do the same things in the right way. And most people, I use this metaphor of a combination lock. If you don't know the numbers, it's not going to open. How many times you turn it, no matter how long you work, it will not open. And so some people are missing numbers, and then some people don't even in the right order. You do it backwards, it's not going to open. So this is a system that I learned from him, but I've learned millions of things since then in terms of EFT and NLP and all these wonderful initials. But anyway, lots and lots of new stuff. And I'm going to be sharing with you that system so that you can take what you learned about wow and also add this other system to your business or your profession and literally transform your results. I don't care what it is you're doing.
I want to say something special about wow, that it changes the concept of business.
Yes.
Business thinks that their job is to deliver the service. So when a chiropractor finishes adjusting your spine, he imagines that it's done. When a restaurant has finished giving you the meal and you've eaten it and paid, it's done. But the problem is that if you give people exactly what they expect, they'll never talk about you. Like, you would never come home from a restaurant and call someone and say, I ordered food and they gave it to me. I asked for the bill and they delivered it. And then I paid them. Like, you would never do that. You only talk about the extra. And so the beauty of the wow concept is business doesn't start until you finish delivering your product. I didn't say that correctly. You don't have to wait till after you finish. What I mean is delivering the product, fully delivering the service, just breaks you even. It's when you think of what extra you can do, even if it doesn't cost anything, that's when you get real business. That's when you get the referral. That's when the wow starts.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a friend, he calls it the other just ho-hum service. You know, it was good. It's what you expected. But if you just get what you expect and it doesn't belong beyond what you expect, I mean, we all now expect 24-hour delivery within 24 hours.
Yes.
But when Amazon first started doing that, everyone was
It
like,
was a
wow. Exactly.
Yes.
You could order at 11 o'clock at night and it came to your house at 11 o'clock the next morning because they had all these distribution centers set up. Now they have even more of them. And sometimes you order something, you get it the same day.
Yes.
And that's kind of a wow.
Not a kind of wow, it's a gigantic wow.
Exactly.
I was ordering something at 1 a.m. and they said, you have 9 hours to make your decision for it to be delivered this today. I said, are you kidding? I went to sleep, I set my alarm for 8:30, and I ordered it as late as I could, and it still arrived at dinner time.
Yeah.
That's a gigantic wow. Now, I don't want you to think you have to set up gigantic warehouses and delivery systems.
Right.
Because wows can be anything. And one funny one, it might have been the reason that Jack and I decided to write the book together, and that was a funny little thing. There is a car wash near me that you go through, and it's fine, it's ordinary, it does all the stuff it's supposed to do, but as the drapes open at the end, the driveway goes out and then just makes a right turn. So you're looking straight at a sign. A sign. There's a sign just at the time when you make the right-hand turn. And it says, that feels good. When I saw it, I said, it does feel good. I want to come to this car wash only. Because I waited. The second time I went, I waited, okay, all water, fine. I waited for the drapes to open to see the sign. I go there for the sign. The sign cost $100. I'm sure the car wash building cost $1 million. And the car wash costs $100 and has no maintenance to it, and that's why I go back.
You know, I just sitting here, I was thinking, like, how do we bring this to some kind of closure? And I was thinking, saying something like, and think about a wow you can do in your relationship. What could you do today when you go home from work or whatever to wow your spouse or your children or whatever? And I was just thinking, we didn't really talk about that, and we've started to do this book.
That's right, we've got to do relationship.
We should do relationship wows. And
new chapter.
Yeah, and I'll share one with you. I took this course a long time ago for couples. It was called, we talk about acts of kindness, and every day we had to do an act of loverness, like to let your spouse know they were special and you love them. And one of the people in the group, they got home early, and they took the bathtub, they poured a bath, and they put rose petals all over the water. And then at the door, when you came in, there was like a string, and it led over to a table, and there was a photograph of some memory they had that was really loving. Went to another photograph, all these loving times they had.
The strings.
Strings, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then, oh, wow, you just said. And then she got to the bedroom, and their bathroom in the bedroom, and said, you've been so beautiful for me. I want to give you a beautiful experience. And it was, had scents in the water and she was like blown away. So little things like that.
For the cost of the string.
Yeah, and maybe an hour of effort, something like that.
But it's not the string or the hour, it's the heart.
Yeah.
When you put the heart into it, they get it. And that's what's special. It's not the price.
It's like when someone says to their secretary, go buy a present for my wife.
It ain't it.
The wife almost always knows.
I know. Because if it's wrapped that beautifully, the husband didn't do it.
That, and like if it's just something he would never think of.
Right.
So yeah, so we'll look forward to that as well.
When I get home from a trip, there'll be a sign on the outside of the front door that says, here comes the greatest teacher, the most wonderful husband. And I open the door, and my favorite fragrance is infused throughout the whole house. All the candles are lit, and the bath is drawn. And I feel, King doesn't describe it. I feel like this is the most heavenly experience any man could accept.
There you go. So there's 2 stories for our book right there.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Jack and I are going to co-present Power of Wow. It's going to be a pre-launch of our book. But there's a very special opportunity for you. Because it's a pre-launch and because you're going to learn about the book and get ideas. In fact, you've got a lot of ideas already in this Facebook Live. You're going to be able to comment or give us suggestions or tell us the wows that you've done to others or other organizations or companies or churches or whatever have ever done to you. And if your story or comment is accepted, then you'll be acknowledged in our book. You can be in our book. it'll be a #1 worldwide bestseller, at least in our dreams.
Yeah, in reality.
And in reality,
Yeah.
Jack doesn't do anything if it isn't a giant success. You've written 170 books.
I've co-authored and co-compiled over 220 chicken soup books, and then I've authored or co-authored, where we've written every word ourselves, about 25 books. And we've had 60 books on the New York Times bestseller list. I think 14 of them were #1. And there was one time we had 7 books on the New York Times list at the same time. It's a world record. No one's ever done that.
A Guinness record. The Guinness record is for an author who's on the New York Times top 10 bestseller list more times in that 1 week than ever before. And you can understand someone could be on it 2 times. Like they write a book, it's great, then it kind of falls down. They write a second book and it's great and it brings the other book up so they can be on it 2 times. 2, maybe 3, I can't even imagine 3. And Jack and Mark Victor Hansen, of course, 7 out of 10. 7 books. Chicken soup, chicken soup, chicken soup, chicken soup, Mark, Jack. That's insane. And I remember being at your office and you showed me the plaque that you got.
Yeah, I still have it.
Yeah. So when Jack writes books or co-authors books, they're typically successful. How would you like to have your name in a wildly successful book? Well, just come to the events, aaron.com, AARON, big double A, AARON.com/events, EVENTS. Go there and you'll see Power of Well Conference in Orange County, California, coming up soon, and in Toronto, Canada, coming up soon. So
Yeah, if you keep evolving and you have more light, more energy, you can become a AAA battery instead of a AA battery.
they might spell it wrong now.
No, it's 2 A's, 2 A's, just 2.
So I will end by saying my favorite quotation is, "Snowmen fall to earth unassembled." And what Jack and I have noticed is that everyone can see the snowflakes. It's nothing, oh, there's a hotel. Everyone can see the snowflakes. But we're inviting you to see beyond the snowflakes to what you can create from what's ordinary. What can you create that's extraordinary from what is ordinary and stand out so much above your peers? And income will come to you, joy will come to you, clients will come to you because you have that extra vision.
That's a beautiful quote. Let's just stop with
Snowmen
that.
fall to earth unassembled.
That's brilliant. I've never heard that before.
I like it.
All right.
Are you going to use it?
I'm going to steal it, but I'll give you attribution at least the first 10 times.
Would you like to end with a favorite quote or some comment?
No, I think we should end with that.
All right.
Leave them with that thought. That's a good thought.
Okay, AARON.com/events. Just go to the Power of Well conferences. But if you look above, I'm going to quickly go there right now and add the actual links to those 2 conferences. But you can go to the events. So thank you. I love Jack. I love being on vacation with him. I love that he and I are going to be at the Power of Well conferences together. It's pre-launch. I love that you can be in what will hopefully or certainly be a bestseller. What else can I say? See you there.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.